Welcome back to the Sunday evening show on the upper tier, the show that we bring you each and every week that we call the good, the bad, and the ugly, where we dissect down the weekend's action and break it down into the good, the bad, and the ugly points from all the action this weekend. Let's go through some of the results. All the results this weekend, of course: Crystal Palace 3, Spurs nil. Shock on the cards there, of course, there was. Arsenal 1, Norwich nil. Arsenal finally getting off the mark. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with the goal. Brentford nil, Brighton 1. Late goal there by Trossard. We will be talking about that. Leicester nil, Man City 1. Man United 4, Newcastle 1. Ronaldo, the king, is back. Southampton nil, West Ham nil. Shocked there. I didn't expect that to be a nil-nil. Watford nil, Wolves 2. Wolves getting their season off to the mark as well. With a good 2-0 win away from Watford. And of course, rounding out the Saturday evening was Chelsea 3, Aston Villa nil. Lukaku doing the business, of course. Then on to Sunday, of course, Liverpool 3, Leeds nil. A game that was marred by the ankle injury to Harvey Elliott. So we will get into that. Let's look at the good first of all. When we look at the good, I mean, where do we start? There's only one place to start. Ronaldo is back with a bang. Two goals for United yesterday. The first to tap in, but the awareness was unbelievable. Just goes to show the man hasn't lost a beat. The second one was a beautiful ball played into him, and he just side shifted it and put it away past the keeper. Hasn't lost a beat, this man. He's like a fine wine. He ages greatly, and showed his pace and everything in the game yesterday against a Newcastle side, who at times were very unlucky. I mean, Joe Linton had a couple of chances that he missed, and I think if Newcastle had a better marksman up front or stuff like that, they might have given United maybe one or two things to think about. Um, Not to be upstaged at all, though, Bruno with an absolutely unbelievable goal as well. And of course, it was rounded out with a nice goal from Jesse Lingard as well. So brilliant stuff from United there at the weekend. But definitely Ronaldo was backing off to the mark. And it was interesting to hear his interview as well, where he said that he was nervous about how he was going to play in front of the Old Trafford crowd and stuff like that. Well, those nerves didn't last too long. He was absolutely outstanding. Also on the good side, that man Lukaku there with the great smile in the blue jersey, absolutely doing the business yesterday against Villa. Scored two goals, but was instrumental in most of what Chelsea did. Absolutely outstanding player, outstanding signing, absolutely doing the business for them already. And certainly making Chelsea definitely title contenders, if not favourites. So brilliant stuff. It was the late show at Brentford yesterday. Trossard popping up and getting the late winner for Brighton. I have to say, listen, you kind of feel for Brentford, when the goal scored at this time as well. But I mean, hats off to Graham Potter. I mean, his boys never stop working hard for him and stuff like that. And if you work hard, sometimes you do get the results that you deserve. And Wolves with a very good win away at Watford. Good to see Wolves off to the mark as well. One was an OG, and then they scored one themselves. So yeah, good to see Wolves getting off the mark as well there. In terms of the bad was, I mean, Spurs losing to Palace. Where do we begin? The first game of the weekend. Spurs just really they struggled yesterday by the looks of things. You know what I mean? And really hadn't got an answer at times for Palace. Didn't put anything major together that I seen. And then we're going to get into the ugly, of course, when we talk about the sending off. But yeah, Kane at times yesterday, just anonymous, Moira, anonymous, not putting in a shift. Now, I know they were missing a number of players as well, which doesn't help things either. But I mean, they should have enough there. If you're top of the table and you want to maintain your run, you should have enough to see off Palace, even if you're missing a couple of players if you're Spurs. But unfortunately, not yesterday. Also, Leicester, I looked at Leicester yesterday against Man City. Not great either. Didn't really this is normally a game where they show up for and give City a real good game, but I just thought they just lacked something yesterday, and City was kind of workmanlike in the way they went about it. Nothing really got me going, really, in terms of the game. It's just a 1-0 win for City, really, and Leicester kind of didn't do anything great, really, to impose themselves on it, really. Also, in terms of the bad, one which I thought was unusual as well, Mikel Antonio getting sent off for West Ham obviously made it very difficult for them to try and get a result against Southampton. and then ended up being a sort of a drab 0-0 in the end. But not good for Mikel Antonio because he's pivotal to West Ham and what they do up front. So he'll be missing for a game now, which won't help their cause. So not good on that behalf. In terms of the ugly, I mean, there's only one place to start, really, isn't it? The tackle on Harvey Elliott, which sort of overshadowed the game, which was a very good performance by Liverpool, albeit they were not as clinical as they should be in front of goal and should have scored a lot more goals and should realistically be sitting on top of the table as we talk this evening. But didn't put a lot of chances away. Had a number of chances. Mane, for instance, probably could have had a hat trick. Jota could have had one or two. Salah, if he was a bit more selfish, maybe one or two as well. So, great to see Salah reaching that 100 goals for Liverpool. Absolutely outstanding player. Not bad at all for a one-season wonder, as they say. Um, but yeah, our thoughts tonight, of course, are with Harvey Elliott and with the ankle injury and stuff like that. Initial reports coming out are that the ankle was dislocated and they were able to put it back in, and the surgery, I think, booked for tomorrow or something like that. So we wish him well on his recovery. We hope he's not out too long. He had a blistering start to the season, backed up by a great loan period at Blackburn last season in the Championship. So feel very sad for the guy. He was really cementing his place in the team. Um, and I'm heading over there on Wednesday. I was dying to see him play, see how he matched up against AC Milan, but unfortunately not going to see that now. But we wish him well, and we got reports in as well. There was a kid in a bed beside him, and he gave the kid his jersey and his football boot as well, which just shows you the kind of guy he is. Absolutely brilliant, all-round human being, and what a talented footballer. So we hope his recovery goes really, really well, and we see him real soon back on the pitch again. Outstanding talent, one for the future without a shadow of a doubt. Was doing brilliant for us at the moment. The other one is when we talk about Spurs, obviously Jaffa Tanganga getting sent off yesterday. I watched this match and I don't know what the guy was thinking. I mean, he got booked first of all for a challenge and then just absolutely launched himself in again and gave the referee no option and ultimately took his team out of the game then in reality. Um, some good goals there. Saha had a penalty put away and stuff like that, and also Palace were full value for their win, and Spurs just looked lackluster. You know, I mean, it was as if like getting to the top of the table, I got to them or something like that, and basically didn't really have an answer for Crystal Palace. But they were your ugly ones. Obviously, the tackle on Harvey Elliott, and obviously the sending off of Jaffa Tanganga really took his team out of the game at that stage. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to leave your comments down below, let us know what you think. If you want to contact the show, we're on Facebook, The Upper Tier, also on Instagram, The Upper Tier. Obviously, if you're a Liverpool fan, you can head over and join us on the Shankly Sessions. We're there every week, myself and Dean on The Upper Tier. Mondays, we do the Monday mashup. That'll be back tomorrow night. All the lads are on, and we have a surprise guest returning. Can't wait for that. I'm sure the lads are going to be stoked about it when they see it. And we roll on. Champions League coming up this week now, and then we're back into the Premier League again next week. No more of that international break or any of that kind of crap. We are back, and football is back, baby. The real football. Thanks again for tuning in. Obviously on YouTube, Dynamo Podcast Network for all the videos, Spotify, Podbean, iTunes for any of the audio versions of the show. And we will talk to you again in this coming week.